But going back to what I was saying before, you and I, of course, have been on holiday together. We went to Dublin, first of all. And I have to say, like, I'd went to Dublin with my family before that, years and years before we went. But that was an interesting holiday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good. I think we tried a good mix of here's a whole bunch of touristy stuff we have to do. We also I remember we just spent a lot of time just having a mosey, which is like my favourite thing to do on holiday, is just to kind of see what's happening.
Oh, no, absolutely. Because did we not find that food market?
Found a food market, and probably one of my favourite memories is we found a Mongolian restaurant.
Oh, that was so good. What, the Mongolian barbecue?
Yay!
Oh, I still talk about that to this day.
And one of my favourite parts of it was when we left, and on the way out, I was like holding my stomach. And we went to this woman outside, and she goes, "Oh, was it not good then?" I was like, "It was the best food I ever
Oh, it
had."
was so good. I hope it's still there. See if it is. I'll take a camera and be like, for the love of God, go into this place. It is amazing. Yeah, it works kind of the same as, I'm assuming, most Mongolian barbecues where, you have a very small bowl, you pack it with the raw meat and everything, and then you put some sauce in, and then they just cook it in front of you, and then they put it in a bigger bowl, which I thought, okay, that's a bit of a swizz, but still, and you can go up constantly for as many bowls as you want. And I agree, it was fantastic food. Absolutely incredible. The one the night after, though, when we went to that Indian restaurant was nice, but Jesus Christ, I think it burned several holes in me that night. Did I ever tell you that when we went to that restaurant and I had ordered, I think it was like a jalfrezi curry, and I remember, and this sounds so stupid, but I remember having a jalfrezi curry from, I think it was Marks and Spencer's of all places, and being like, oh yeah, I can handle a jalfrezi.
Yeah,
Oh, of
easy, easy, easy.
course. Spoilers, no you can't. It was so spicy. You and I both had red faces. I'm all like, water, please. Oh, but it was so tasty, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, you're completely right, though, because we went so many places. We went to, in fact, did we not go to a really nice cafe, Queen of Tarts or something like that?
That sounds familiar, but yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, that sounds like me.
The only reason I remember is just because of the amazing name for it. But I just remember that being down like a side street. It wasn't like it was out in the open to see. It was just kind of there. And you're right, we did have a good mix of just plodding about, and just seeing what was there, as well as targeting some of the bigger things like the Christchurch Cathedral, was it?
The Guinness factory as well.
The talking fish.
The talking fish, the fish on the bicycle. Dublin was great. I really did enjoy it.
Well, it was. It was a great holiday. And it was only like, what, 3-4 days?
Yeah, we packed a lot. I think it was 3 days. I think we went on the Friday and came back the Sunday. I think we packed it, properly packed it.
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't take long to get over.
No.
You, but even still, yeah, you're completely right. And it was the same as well, jumping onto the plane going over to Europe, or the other side of Europe, when you and I went to visit a beautiful friend in Sweden. Yeah, we packed quite a bit in there as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we went to Stockholm for 3 days or something. Well, my excuse was that there was wrestling on, so that was why I had to go. I don't really know how it all came about. I guess I was trying to remember last night. It was like, how did we actually end up arranging this trip, and why did I get to go to the wrestling? Like, of all the weekends we were all free, how did it end up being the one that WWE were in town? Class, we're on Craig. I can't really remember that, but yeah, Stockholm's an amazing place. Again, I don't want this just to become like a food blog, but good food. And yeah, we went to this crazy living zoo. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a museum with a zoo in it.
Yeah, that was a weird place. Like, it was fantastic because the first part, you're right, is a zoo, and then the second part, they've got all these very old Swedish buildings that they said they kind of carted from one place to the other. Oh yeah, we're just going to keep them here for people to see and everything. And again, you got that amazing bread in one of them where it was like, oh yes, please. But yeah, you're right. It was really weird but amazing at the same time. Yeah.
So I went back to Stockholm
without me,
without you, I'm afraid. And we actually missed something that I went back and did with Ainsley. And actually, this is now my biggest recommendation to do in Stockholm. It's a warship. Unless you did do this, and I'm getting my memories mixed up, but there's a museum dedicated to a warship called the Vasa. And basically, it was like this ridiculously massive ship that couldn't float particularly well. I mean, they took it out to port and immediately sank. But what they managed to do is basically salvage it more or less intact in the 60s and just pick it out and stick it in a museum. So it's like this huge big boat from like the 1600s just in a museum, like all completely built up. It's unbelievable. So that's like my number one recommendation of things to go do in Stockholm is that, because it honestly blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like it. The scale of it is unbelievable.
Because I remember we went to the art museum.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And what I didn't realise, and this kind of shows my ignorance for this, but I didn't realise that Stockholm was made up of different tiny islands.
Yeah, that's kind of the same. It's really interconnected, like lots of little bridges and stuff, isn't it?
And it's so weird because we walked by, the building where people get their Nobel Peace Prizes and things
Yes.
like that. And it was just so weird to be walking in this amazing city and just being like, all right, someone cured world hunger over there, or someone did this and they got a Nobel Prize. And we are walking on the other side and this really lovely cafe and things. And it was just a fantastic city. I was only there for, well, as we said, a couple of days. And yet it left such a big impression on me, I have to say. That's my top recommendation. It's like, if you want to go somewhere, definitely go to Stockholm. I mean, the only other thing I was surprised at, and this is something I'll probably bring up in one of the other countries that I visited, but it was very cashless.
Yeah, I actually had a story about this. And I was going to tell it. I'm glad you brought it up. Last time I went to Stockholm, so like I said, I went back with my wife and we went on a night out with some Swedish people. And one of them started laughing at me because I tried to pay in cash in the bar. I was like, no. So much so that they actually like were all looking at the cash like, oh, I haven't seen one of these notes. It wasn't like a massive note, but it was one of the probably ones they give to tourists. But it was like, I haven't seen this note in years. I didn't even know you could still get them. I was like, oh, come on, it's like a £20 note, lads. Like, calm down, because it's not euros they use, it's their own krona. But they were popping off that I wasn't using card.
I remember you had actually told me that no, you don't need cash or anything. And I remember even telling my family, and they were all worried, being like, no, you should get some cash to take or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm sure it'll be fine, because I was trusting your word. So I was
Why
like,
did you do that?
I can't imagine that's, of all the pranks you could have pulled,
The old cashless prank.